Peace, 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 and revolutionary love. It is me, Ahamara, and I'm here with you all today with a very important class that I think that we all need to um, have if we start to pick up the spiritual path into spirituality. A lot of people have changed their outlook on religion and things of that nature, and they're kind of like shifting over to spirituality. So I'm here to help you with healing your ancestral trauma. We know that we must heal ourselves, right? We must heal ourselves. And on the spiritual journey, we have ancestors, spirit guides that watch over us, and we always commune with our ancestors on the other side who have transitioned. So what we do a lot of the times is we do the work on ourselves, which is great. But when we summons our ancestors, when we go to talk to them, or when we ask them for guidance and for help, you got to understand that not all of our ancestors left this physical plane in a good space. Some of our ancestors passed on, still dealing with hurt and traumas in their bloodline. As they got older, they may have pushed it to the back of their minds or whatever, but never really got to cope with it. Some of us don't die good at death. Some of us suffer, when we lose people in the hospitals and we try to keep them on those machines and stuff, and their souls is ready to go to rest. But we as physical beings, we want to keep those souls alive. And, that sends the spirit into a state of shock. You know what I'm saying? We have to heal them too. Okay, we have to go back and cleanse our bloodline. We have to go back and heal those that we call on. Okay, for this guidance and this help. And if you're not familiar with calling on your ancestors, well, I welcome you into this space so that you can learn. Because I'll go step by step how you should go. Number one, create an altar in your house. Black people study spirituality more than they'll ever know. They just don't acknowledge it. We go to the church house for a lot of things, and church is right there at home. So I would suggest you make an altar. Most people keep their altars in their living rooms. I have an altar. Mine is in my meditation room. I like my space sacred, where everybody cannot be around it unless invited. Or again, the living room is a great place too. A lot of your altars are in the living room. You just didn't know they were there. So rather you take an end table, like an end table. You need a table of some sort to create your altar. And what I would like you to take first is a bowl. Get you a bowl. I like glass, so get you a bowl, and you want to fill your bowl with water. Fill your bowl with water. To commune with our ancestors, you do it through water and the fire, which is your light. So next would be getting candles. I like the tall candles. You can also use crayon candles. That's what I call them. But these tall candles, a white one, would be good. Okay. So you have your water, you have your candle, and what you want is a plant. Okay. Here she come. And what you want is a plant. So this is what I use is I use a plant, because what you're gonna learn also how to do is libations. Okay. What do you need the plant for? Stop that. Cut it out. Go have a seat. So you have your water, you have your plant, you have your candle, and then you want your pictures. So, and I'll get into this in a second, but I'll tell you for me, you want your altar to only have pictures of those who have transitioned. Do not build an altar with the living inside of it. So if your grandmother has transitioned, but your favorite picture is your granny and you, do not place that on the altar because you're still alive. Okay? You just want those who have transitioned on. So I have a picture of my father, and I have a picture of my grandparents. This is on my mother's side. I do not have a picture of my grandmother on my father's side alone in a picture. But my dad got a lot of photos of them. So that's why she's not on the altar. And I don't have a picture of my grandfather, John Henry Streety. I don't have a picture of him, but he's transitioned too. So I could call out to my family and ask for some pictures, but I still call on them through libations. So I call on my grandparents on my mother's side and my grandparents on my father's side. What's special about this ancestral healing? My grandfather is not my biological grandfather, but he was my grandfather. You know, my grandfather is still living, but I've never met him. My mother's dad, I've never met him. But this is the man who took care of me. This is the grandfather I know. But when I call on his name and I do the ancestral work, it clears up his bloodline. So I'm doing two good works at the same time. You feel me? So for my uncles and my other aunt, who my grandmother had children with, that helps with their bloodline too, as well. You know, and then, you know, my grandmother is my mama's mother. And so, you know, she takes care on my mama's side. So the battle in Briggs is straight over here, literally. And so, yeah. So you have your water, you have a plant for libations, a white candle. I would recommend it, just a tall white candle, because you can keep them lit. You can keep them lit. Always keep your altars lit. And then your pictures, right? So you have your pictures there. So when you do libations, you call on your ancestors. So in my situation, you start with the woman. So I call on my mother's side, then my father's side. So it goes something like this. So I have my plant, I have my water. I scoop the water up with my hands and I pour it into the plant. And I say, to Ruth Battle, Fred Battle, Alice Streety, John Henry Streety, and Arnold Dean Mathis. And those are the 5 ancestors that I call on for ancestral work, really removing and releasing the trauma, right? So that's your altar, and that's lit, and that's all you have to do to pour libations. And when you call out their names with your candle lit in your water, you're now communing with the dead. At this time, sit in silence and breathe. You know, just breathing in and out, deep breaths, and just meditate and just be still in the space for a second. Okay? Sometimes you may receive messages. You may be able to hear. If you can't hear anything, especially if this is your first time, you know, it's fine. I want you to practice sitting in a space of peace with your ancestors that you call on. Okay? So next, I would suggest you get a notepad and a piece of paper. And not everybody knows family secrets. Some people may know some things and not all things, or maybe don't know anything at all. Okay? But you do know what your family suffers from. I feel like most families can see, you know, their family patterns, you know, whether it's arguing, something like drinking, fears, phobias. I don't know. You know your family, right? You've been around them long enough. So what you want to do is you want to take out a piece of paper and you want to write down everything that you want your bloodline to be released from. So on that paper, you would start, I release, simple, fear, any type of form of fear that was introduced into my family. I release any type of fear or trauma, you know, and be specific though. You know, you can be more specific. I'm being vague. In my family bloodline. Then, and then you write all those things. Some of us have molestation and pedophilia in our families. You know what I'm saying? So write that. I release any form of pedophilia and molestation that was in my bloodline. I release any arguments, fights, uh, pain. You know what I'm saying? My family been through. You know, you can be specific and let it be personal, and let it be personal, and don't be afraid to get it out. Okay, and write those things out. Um, and some of your personal traumas could be some of your family traumas. Okay, um, so you know what those things are. So you want to make a list of them, what you want to release. Okay. So after you pour your libations, do your libations first, and your candle is lit. And I want you to sit for a moment for about 5 minutes, or however long it takes. It may take you 10, 15, 20 in that space of peace. Then I want you to journal what you want to release from your ancestral bloodline. Okay? From the ancestors you called on when you poured libations, specifically them. So let's say all your grandparents are living. When you go to your great grandparents, okay? If your grandparents and your great grandparents is living, go to your great 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 grandparents. You know what I'm saying? But start there. If you lost a parent, start there. If you've lost parents and grandparents, do both. And if you can go back to great great grandmother and them, that's fine too. But start with what you know and who you've lost and what you know. Because there are a lot of families that don't know their family history. Okay. And let's say you don't know your family history. Let's say you are adopted or anything like that. Try your best to find out who your bloodline is if you can, because some people, as they get older, they get back in contact with family, you know, or learn that their mother or father passed or whatever. You know, you want to gather as much as you can. If you are an adopted person and you cannot find that, well, then you're like one of those chosen beings. And I say that because anybody that can walk this earth and journey it through without physically knowing and meeting where they come from, they're your greatest warriors, because they're able to use whatever powers and creativity that they come from without without it directly teaching them. Yes, they have their adoptive parents and things of like that, but it's still not the same bloodline, so praises and powers to those, because a lot of there are some people that deal with issues growing up, feeling like they're left in the dark or whatever, because they don't know who their bloodline is. But you are the heir to the bloodline, and that's probably why you was called and chosen to be where you are. They're kind of like what you call wandering prophets in a sense. So don't worry about that. If you cannot, let's say you're one of those people that cannot find any trace or whatever, well, then you are the one that's going to heal yourself, your bloodline, to gift over to your heir. Okay? So, with that being said, we poured our libations. We lit our office is lit. Okay? After we breathe, we want to now set and write those intentions. Now you want to go to the fire. So, of course, your candle will be full. I want you to meditate into the flame. This is going to take concentration. Meditate into the flame, everything that you have written down. If you would like to pick up the paper and read it into the flame, but you want to focus on the flame and visualize those things being released. Okay? Now, if anybody understands chakra work, if not, we'll keep it simple. You want to breathe in and out, and as you're looking through that flame, imagine from your lower, which is your root, all the way up to your crown. You want to take deep breaths in and out and feel the airflow go up from the root all the way to the top. Exhale it back down. Inhale from the root. So release the energy down. Okay? And it does take practice. You know, it takes a form of practice. You have to do the work. Okay? But you want to visualize into that light those things that you've written down being released. Now, what's going to happen is your flame is going to be lit and it's going to start to flicker. You know, well, it probably will already be moving around, right? But as more concentrated and focused you are on that flame, it'll become still. And that'll let you know that the ancestors that you invited in the room are listening. So the more you concentrate on the flame, it'll become still. When you reach a place of steady stillness, my comrade got this for me for my birthday. I love it. Isn't it pretty? It's pretty. It's kind of dusty, but it's pretty. This is my where I burn my intentions and ancestral monies or whatever. So I forgot to tell you this. Get you a bowl that you can light stuff on fire and it can burn and not mess it up. So this is called, these are ancestral money. Okay, I received mine from a sister queen. The website is Soul Gifted, Love, Soul Gifted. Oh shit, excuse me. I'm gonna write it in the description, like soulgiftedlife.com. Is that right? Soulgiftedlife.com. I'm Soul Gifted Love. Is it love or life? I order a lot of my products from Sister Queen, and they work. She has like candles, crystals. She has everything. I'll put it in the description box somewhere. I'll get it together. Is it Soul Gifted Life? I used to advertise it all the time. Anyways, you want to get you some ancestral money. If you live here locally in Louisville, you can go to Health Daddy Wow, 1806 Ralph Avenue. Talk to Deneen, and she can give you some ancestral money. Do not write on these, not with the ancestral work. That comes later, and that'll be another episode. You want to take this after you've wrote everything down on a pad. You've looked into the flame, and you're visualizing them release. You want to make a burnt offering to your ancestors. Now, this paper, Jenny, the faster it moves, the better the response. When you're healing traumas, it may burn a little bit slower. You'll see. Or it may burn fast. Maybe your ancestors like, yes, oh my God, somebody finally came and loved on me. Oh, now I can love on you. Okay? Like, seriously. So after that, you're going to take a burnt offering. You're going to burn it at the tip. It burns fast. And you allow it to burn. And you put it in your bowl. It'll burn and it won't mess up your bowl. Make sure you got a bowl that's not going to mess it up. Yeah. All right? Yeah. So once that's done, sit some more in meditation and feel that release coming through your bloodline, releasing from your bloodline. Feel that release coming off your bloodline. Okay? All right? And then it's done. Now, don't just do it once and go away and go home and think everything is okay. All right? Then I want you to keep a journal. Journal each day any changes that you see. It don't have to be major. Maybe that aunt you ain't heard from in a long time just called you. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you decided to say, I want to call my cousin and apologize for something. I don't know what that could be. I don't know. But keep a journal for about a week. different things that that you saw or that you're feeling. Also do what you're feeling, inside of a journal, day by day, after you've done the ritual. And so once you did it once, come back the following week, same day. Try to do same day, same time, and do it again. Even if it's the same releases, or if maybe there's something more. Now be careful now watch this in your journaling. So after you've done the burnt offering, okay, now look into your journal. Go into your journal. I'm messing up my words. Like I said, go back the next week and do it again. During the week, you might hear your spirit guides, your ancestors tell you something else that needs to be healed. So remember, you walk around with your ancestors and your spirit team. So you might hear something else that might need to be released that wasn't on that paper the first time. So you want to come back the next week, same day, same time, and do the same process all over again. Okay? Do it again. I say give it 6 weeks. Do it six weeks, same day, same time, at your altar. And you want it in a space, do it in a space where there's no interruptions. And I'm not going to do it. The TV can't be on. Music can't be playing in the background. You can have some meditation music on if you like something very calming. But you want to be in a quiet space. Okay? That's why I have a meditation room. Even if I had it in my living room, I could do it. You see how quiet it is in there. I tell that one. But it's okay. Welcome children into the space always. You know what I'm saying? Because they're seeing you and they're watching you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they pick up things. Okay? And that's another goal too. When I grew up, my mother used to do this. She used to light the candles at the altar and pray to my grandmother. Now this is something I know because I saw it. So you definitely want to always keep the babies around, unless they a little nuts. But put that in your bloodline work. Any generational setbacks with these children in the bloodline. Oh yes. Okay. So yes. Also something to put on your altar. I have tons of these. I have a big bowl. It's a bowl made in a heart, and I keep crystals. And start to pick up learning about crystals. Get you a crystal book and start buying crystals, reading about crystals, what their properties are, what they're good and used for, what part of the house and stuff to put them in. No, go put that down. Keep you some crystals on your altar too. You can spread them all around your house. Put some in the kitchen, put some in the bathroom. So,
Mom, is it okay if I use this?
Let me see it. Okay, we'll go over there. So, again, keep you now. Here's the thing about the water. Refresh your water daily. Keep your altar clean. Shouldn't nothing just be roaming on your altar. Wipe it down every once in a while. Keep you a fresh bowl of water. Change it every morning. Find you a plant. There's some people out here that get particular plants and money trees and all that. Plants are life. Get you a plant. Make it harder than what it is. Candle. I suggest a tall candle. White. Keep your ancestors there that have transitioned. Make sure there are no one living inside of the photos. No living beings in the photos. And get you a burnt offering bowl. Something that's safe to where you can drop the ashes from the burnt offering. Get you some ancestral money. Do not write on these. Not for because remember, you're giving up an offering. Write the release on a separate sheet of paper. I know. And I'll make another study for when we do write on them. Okay? But not for this one. You want to send this offering up. All right? Your goal is to focus into the flame. You write those intentions and then you visualize the release looking into the flame. And you want to stabilize the flame. It's going to flicker at first. Your goal is to visualize the release, that intent, and stabilize the flame. Once the flame becomes stabilized, just continue breathing and focusing and visualizing. And you'll see the flame grow higher too. Okay? As it stabilizes, it'll rise. All right? That's how you know that you're putting the work in. All right? When you're done, take your ancestral money, burn it into your bowl, and relax. Keep your altar lit that night. Like, don't put the flame out. Keep it lit. Keep it lit until the next morning or so. Sometimes I just let them burn until they burn out. Keep your altar lit. Like I said, if you use the crayon candles, make sure you look up their colors and what they represent, and get you the small candle holders. You can use the small ones. And honestly, for rituals, the crayon ones are a little bit better because, like, you're working into the flame, and of course, they're gonna burn faster than that one. So get you a crayon candle, put it in the get you a candle holder, put it in the candle holder, stare into the flame, and it'll burn down, of course, all that night. But keep this one on your altar and keep it lit. Your house is not gonna burn down unless you have them children that don't. Pray for the children of your bloodline. Your family. What? Girl, they not real. The stand said it's all right. And they say 1,000.
Mom, can you stop?
Do something. All right. I hope this was helpful. And so before we get out of here, send you off some advice. And spirit those who are willing to put in the ancestral work to heal their ancestral bloodline as they take this journey in. The advice, divine spirit. I got so much. What's the advice? She's getting nerves. Hey! Sorry, y'all. I'm sorry to yell like that. That one right there. All right, this is what Spirit is saying. Walk away from trying to juggle so much. Some of you may be juggling a lot of things, okay? Especially when you're going on this spiritual path, on this magic carpet ride. You don't have to hold on to everything. You don't have to juggle a lot of stuff, all right? Balance yourself. Lay down those burdens, all right? Because you're getting ready to pick up a test. See how he's walking on them coals? This is called a spiritual assignment. I'm going to post a video about spiritual assignments, all right? This will be, if this is your first time ever doing spirit work, or even not been in the game for a minute, got to bounce back in, maybe did a whole bunch of healing and spirit work, but ain't did that ancestral bloodline. Now you have you're on an assignment to heal your ancestors, to heal your bloodline. So with this, you're going to have to lay down those burdens. That's exactly what you're doing. You're releasing the burdens in your bloodline. And you're going to see the results. You're going to have victory in this process for yourself, for your lineage, and there to come. And this is not going to be a challenge for you. This is not something hard that you're going to have to fight through. All right? This is not going to be hard for you. Okay? And this could be the biggest thing that you have ever done in the history of your bloodline. Because a lot of people do not heal their ancestors. They heal themselves. But they don't heal the very people that they call and they honor. They need healing and love too. Again, everybody doesn't transition on to that other side in a beautiful way, a happy way, or a healed way. So we want to be respectful to our ancestors, those who have transitioned, who help us along this journey with the power and fight that they do have. They can have so much when you hear them too. You are one of a kind, good as a slice of pie. Wasn't this all delightful?